Finding a microscopic fault in a glass tube stretching across a city requires shooting a pulse of light down the line and analyzing the reflections that return in a fraction of a second. The COMWAY MAX 600 series is designed to handle this process, but the catalog breaks down into 4 base types and 8 distinct submodels. Navigating these options is not about finding the best unit on the market. It is a strict binary test of whether the tool matches the physical properties of the specific network you are building or repairing. This animation illustrates the 2 governing physics metrics you have to align. The top fiber shows dynamic range, measured in decibels. This dictates your raw penetration power and how far down the line your test signal can accurately travel. The bottom fiber illustrates wavelength, or lambda. The frequency of the light you use determines whether you can safely test a line carrying live active traffic, or if you are restricted to entirely dark, unactivated networks. Bring a unit with insufficient dynamic range to a job site, and your signal simply fades to black before it reaches the end of the cable. You physically cannot certify the link. Bring a unit with the wrong wavelength, and your test signal collides directly with active data streams. You will blind the customer's equipment and knock out their service. Avoiding those 2 scenarios means ignoring the marketing claims and rigorously mapping the MAX 600 spec sheet directly to the daily realities of your specific job sites. For most independent contractors and IT teams, the daily workload revolves around standard city-level single-mode links or enterprise campus networks. The baseline tool for this environment is the Type 1 MAX 600 M1. It serves as the standard, budget-conscious workhorse. It operates at standard 1310 and 1550 nanometer wavelengths with a 32 over 30 decibel dynamic range. In practice, that is enough power to accurately certify 80 to 110 kilometers of real-world point-to-point fiber. That capability has a ceiling. The M1 lacks the optical muscle required to push a signal through complex high-ratio splitters or bridge true long-haul backcones. Contractors facing a constantly shifting mix of environments usually look toward the Type 4 MAX 600 M4 quad-wave. The M4's 4-wavelength setup allows testing short multi-mode lengths up to 5 kilometers and standard single-mode lengths up to 115 kilometers from one unit. Buying the M4 means paying a premium for multi-mode compatibility, but sacrificing the extreme single-mode distance capabilities of higher-end models. The Type 1 and Type 4 units are optimized for broad daily utility. They handle the vast majority of standard cabling jobs without overcharging you for specialized power you won't use. Network architectures that span entire regional territories or run as submarine links beneath the ocean require entirely different optical specifications. This is where the Type 2 heavyweights come into play: the M2, the M5, and the M6. The dynamic range on these models scales upward aggressively, starting at 40 decibels and climbing to a massive 45 over 43 decibels on the ultra-high dynamic range M6. This chart translates that rating to geography. These units punch through 130 to 185 kilometers of fiber. This extreme rating overcomes heavy signal loss from high-ratio FTTH splitters. The M5 and M6 force a signal through these dense junctions to read the entire path. Buying a 45 decibel UHDR unit to test an 80-kilometer urban loop is a misallocation of capital. The extra power yields zero return on investment for standard runs. Equip your team with Type 2 units strictly when you are a core telecom engineer facing service-level agreements mandating ultra-long-haul or submarine validation. The most complex testing environment you can encounter is a fiber-to-the-home or passive optical network. In this arena, the Type 3 tri-wave PON family takes over. Distance is no longer the primary hurdle. The entire challenge hinges on your operating wavelength. The MAX 600 M3S operates at 1310, 1490, and 1550 nanometers. Because it transmits on the exact same wavelengths that standard network traffic uses, it is the perfect tool for certifying brand new, completely dark fiber networks before they go live. Plugging that specific M3S unit into an already active network will cause immediate packet collision with live traffic, resulting in network outages. To test a network that is already running, you need the MAX 600 M3A. This comparison matrix explains the difference. The M3A adds a unique 1650 nanometer laser operating out of band, allowing invisible test signals down a live GPON network without interrupting data streams. The standard M3 uses 1625 nanometers, serving as a specific middle ground for core telecom troubleshooting. The M3A's live network safety net commands a higher price. If your company solely constructs new networks and hands them off before activation, that specialized feature is unnecessary. Knowing whether your daily work orders involve active residential maintenance or new underground builds dictates exactly which tri-wave model belongs in your truck. Selecting your OTDR comes down to defining your exact fiber type, your maximum distance, and your network state. Independent IT professionals and campus technicians should equip the M4 for multi-mode versatility or the M1 to cover standard single-mode budgets. Long-haul and submarine specialists are bound by their SLA distance requirements, leaving them to choose between the brute force of the M2, M5, or M6. To lock in your decision, look at this scorecard mapping. Notice how the PON environment splits firmly in half. FTTH maintenance teams require the M3A for active troubleshooting, while construction crews use the M3S for unactivated fiber builds. Overspecifying your OTDR wastes thousands of dollars on capability you will never utilize. Underspecifying your unit guarantees job failure in the field. The correct COMWAY MAX 600 isn't the model with the highest numbers on the spec sheet. It is the tool precisely, mathematically matched to the physics of the fiber you test every day.